Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Maggie, and today we are going to be doing something a little bit different. We are going to be doing our July budget recap, but I'm actually going to take you guys along with me and how I do it. So normally I just kind of go over the numbers with you, but I thought that it would be fun to show you guys how I do it. So this is using the Budget Moms method, and the sheets that I do use, I created myself, but they are based off of the Budget Moms worksheets and her template. So if you want these sheets, you can go check out her website. I'll link it down below or put it on the screen or something so that you can see what that is. You can go to her website and you can buy the Budget by Paycheck workbook. It is a printable that you can download and print off yourself. When I made these sheets, I didn't know she had all that. I just made them myself. So yeah, or she has a free resource library on her page as well, that she has sheets that are similar to these. They are not the same sheets though. So let's go ahead and jump in. This was my first bill tracker. We'll pull these out real quick. Okay, paycheck one, this paycheck. So this is my little divider for my happy planner that's gonna help me figure out which paycheck I'm on. This is actually gonna go into August because we're closing out July. All right, okay, we're gonna make this work. All right, so this sheet right here, this is July spending totals. This is where I write down my totals that I spent for each paycheck period and add it up. So we did that for this first paycheck, which is this one right here. I took all of the totals from this sheet right here, this totals right here, and then the totals from this budget sheet, and I plugged them into this paycheck spending one. We haven't done that for paycheck spending 2 yet because today is actually July 30th and I just filmed my paycheck 2 week 2 check-in. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. I typically will do this part after I do those check-in videos because it's a lot easier to plug in these numbers from the sheet. Okay, and then the next part comes bills. So for my bill total, I look at this sheet right here. It says bill total, and I look at the actual column, which is $467.26. So $467.26 is what we spent on bills. Okay, now for savings, I go in and I look at my trackers. This green color right here, it's kind of like an army green color, is what I use for my savings. And so I will go in and add up these transactions, and that's going to be the total that I put for savings. But I also do this and break it down by category on this page, which helps me plug in the number here. So first, we're going to look at emergency fund. That says July 2020 challenge. That's not my emergency fund. Those are sinking funds. Emergency savings, I put $25 towards. Okay. And that's a credit card page, so we never put savings towards that. The next category is sinking funds. So SF, sinking funds, that's 30 plus 30. And then on this page, nothing. So we did $60 on my sinking funds. And then the July 2020 challenge for this, we have $1 and then a $10 right here, so that's $11. And that's it. So we had $11 for the 2020 challenge, nothing for Saveopoly. So 25 plus 60 plus 11 gives us $96, which we now go in and plug under our savings. Okay, and then debt. So for my debt category, I count that as any extra money, like my debt snowball, that I throw towards my debt. So even though I have, like right here, a Send Federal Credit Union card, $118, that is paying towards my card, but it's the minimum payment, so I count that as a bill. Anything above the minimum payment, that is fair game in the debt column. Now, you guys may be wondering, well, Maggie, you said you spent a lot of money on the Amazon card this month, which I did. Like, all of these is Amazon purchases. But if you technically that is debt, because it is money that I don't have that I'm spending on the credit card. But if you see, I categorized these. So these transactions have already been included up here in these numbers in my categories. So we are not counting that as debt. Debt category only counts extra payments above and beyond. So you're probably thinking, well, Maggie, it says right here that you paid this amount towards your Amazon card. So wouldn't you count that as a debt payment? No, because this is me paying back these purchases. It's not me paying extra, like, towards my debt to bring my debt lower. This is essentially acting like I took, like, this money came out of my checking account, essentially. What I'm paying is paying back these purchases. So I would be acting, I don't know how to put this into words. It's acting like I had the money sitting in an account and I just was using the card and I'm paying it back. It's not extra on top of my debt to bring down my actual debt balance. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm not explaining that well enough. So all that to say, we did not have any extra debt payments for this pay period. Okay, for holiday category, we had no holiday spending because the only holiday was 4th of July, and this pay period was beyond that. For car, I spent $20 plus $277.04. It's $297.04, but that does not include the money that I took from my car maintenance fund. So let me see, hold on. So I actually took $50 from my car maintenance, and we count that as income. And then we will say, okay, because the total of my car repairs was $347.04. So that's how much we spent on car total. So we have to include that because this was, I used my sinking fund, even though I only put $277 on my card. I was able to pay cash by using my gas envelope and my car maintenance sinking fund. Clothing, we did not spend anything on. Okay, so now what we do is we have our July spending totals. We're going to calculate our total spent. the total. $3,795.44. Okay, now I'm going to speed this part up. I'm going to add these two columns just to make sure everything's correct. And we are correct. Okay, so now that we have that, we'll go ahead and total up our savings column, which I should have done that before on the other page. Okay. All right, this page right here was the debt payment plan that I created at the start of July. And you guys cannot see this, so let's zoom you guys back out a little bit. Okay, so right here, I put an X because I was gonna pay an extra debt snowball payment of $160. I did not do that. I just paid the minimum payment, and I had paid this extra payment down here. So $118 for the minimum payment, plus the extra $118 that I paid for my first paycheck, gives me $236 for my total debt payments for the month. So I actually ended up having it written down in here, which I just realized is the same thing up here. So this is technically last month's total debt balance. It's at the start. So 6005.66. And then this month's total debt balance is what your debt balance is after you pay everything off. So that's right here, 5817.01. Okay, so then your total monthly progress should be 6005.66 minus 5817.01, $188.65. So that means $47.35 went towards interest from this total. So then your total monthly progress would be this 188.65, and you divide it by your top number, 6005.66, and then you multiply it by 100 to get a percent, which for me will be 3%. If you want to get technical, it's actually this 3.14%, but we're just say 3. Total debt I started with. Okay, for that one, I actually have to look because I don't know. So hold on one segundo. Okay. So total debt I started with was 8426.26. Okay. All right, guys. So like I've said in previous videos, this is what I started with when I actively started trying to budget. So that's the number we're going with, although it has gone like way above that. I was close to $10,000 in debt at one point, so I have paid a lot back, but this is when I first started budgeting, so we're going with that number. So 8426.66 minus 5817.01. Oops, I should probably rewrite that right here. 5817.01. That means that we have 2609.65 divide that by 8426.26 times 100. That means we've made, round that up to 31% of progress on our debt. Okay, so then the next page is the monthly budget category breakdown. Zoom you guys in a little bit. So what you'll notice is all of these categories are pretty much the same as the ones in here. These steps build upon themselves. I do the weekly recaps. Where's it? Oh, here it is. So I use these sheets to fill out this sheet, and then I use this sheet to fill out this sheet. That's kind of how it goes. So let's see, monthly budget. Oh, I didn't fill in my monthly budget. Okay, so that actually, the totals for the monthly budget come from my bill tracker sheets. So we have 150 plus 150, so that means it was a monthly budget of $300 for groceries. Oh, hello. Monthly budget of $300 for groceries, and then 200 plus 125 was 325. So why can I not write? That would be $625 for the food, and then gas was $60 and $30, so that's $90. Entertainment was $20, and I'm looking at this sheet as well as this sheet, so that's where these numbers are coming from. Gas was $30 plus 60 was 90. Entertainment was 0 plus 20, so 20. Household was 10 plus 20, so 30. Personal care, I just wrote personal there, was 10 plus 20, so that's 30. Pet was 25 plus 50, so 75. Miscellaneous was 20 plus 50, 70. Blow money was 50 and 50, so that's 100. So for bills, I budgeted $272 plus $492 minus my $125 cushion, $639. Savings, I had budgeted $426, $436 plus 28, $464. That's how much I had budgeted, because that was for my sinking funds from the first paycheck, and I didn't budget anything for my sinking funds on the second paycheck. For debt, I had budgeted $134 plus 228, and that was for debt snowballs for each paycheck. It was, oh, well, actually, scratch that. For debt, I had only budgeted $134 because the second part, the 228, was me reimbursing the Amazon card. So yeah, $134 is what I budgeted for my debt snowball. Holiday, I hadn't budgeted anything. Car, nothing. Clothing, and then business category, we're not doing that this round because I categorized it as blow money. So okay, so I have my monthly budget. Now we're going to copy the monthly spent from this total spent right here. I thought I hadn't included my cushion, but I did include my cushion in that. And then incoming income, shoot. Give me a second. So this incoming income is what I got paid on my paychecks, and then any money taken from sinking funds, or any like extra money that I got in, that's the incoming income. So give me 1 second and I'm going to go back and add all of those up really quickly. Okay, so the total I got for adding up all of the income was 3505.54. So plus 3505.54 plus my starting balance was just $302.69. My total monthly income was 3808.23. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to use our red and green pens to discern whether we were over budget in these categories, and then we will figure out the percent of our income that was spent in each category. So our percents are a little bit off. That's because I round up, so I'm fine that this is 101%. Yeah. I think actually, am I forgetting anything? July. Oh, August start balance. I forgot that on here. which for August, I am starting with $28.23, which is, okay. That's 1% of my budget, so then that it's gonna be 102%. Okay. All right. So now we have that. We go on to the sheet, which is the monthly debt and savings breakdown, which we can go ahead and take the debt from this page right here. And the total that I paid towards my debt was $236. Total monthly income was $3,808.23. And now you may be asking yourself, wait, Maggie, you had this debt category in here and you put 118. Well, that's because part of this $236 that I paid was included in my bills because it's a minimum payment of $118. So that's why. But this is the actual amount I paid towards my debt, so it comes from the debt payment plan. I don't know why. I just follow what the Budget Mom says. I mean, it makes sense in my head, but I don't know how to put it into words, and I'm sorry for knocking the camera. So, I hope that explained it, because the way that I break it down is that this debt is extra payments and then bills are minimum payments are included. But then on this sheet, it's any payment at all that goes towards debt is counted as a debt breakdown. So that's why the numbers are off. So let's see, 236 divided by 3808.23. I'm actually going to take the 23 cents off. I'll just leave it at 3808 and make it easier. It's going to be 6%. And then 100% of that 236 went towards the Ascend loan. Now for savings, we're going to look at the savings total sheet. This is why I use this sheet to break down what I put towards each savings, so that I can go ahead and write it in here. So we put $50 towards emergency fund, 524 went towards sinking funds, and 131 went towards challenge, and then there was nothing for Savopoly. So the total that I put towards saving was $705. And then the last sheet that we do is a comparison from June to July. Income increased by $581. So right here, if you see, I wrote June income and then July income. I am going to make these a spot on the sheet, but I have printed off a lot for this year. So I may not add that until next year. I might just end up writing them down at the bottom. It depends on if I print off a new sheet or not. Okay, so now this right here gets copied from the Where Did My Money Go worksheet, because we figured out the percent of the budget. So just like we did for this, where we figured out the difference, we're going to figure out the difference between the June and July budgets right here. So, as you guys can see, like looking at this, my income went up, so obviously we'll have more spending this month in some categories than last month because the income went up. And now the income includes, like I said, it includes whatever money you brought in this month from like sinking funds, like any source of income you have coming in, sinking funds, extra jobs, side hustles, or anything like that. For me, it was mostly my sinking funds because I had to use those to help pay back the Amazon card and also to fix my car when I had my flat tire. So that's why the income increased this month. And looking at this, what this tells me is I spent a little less in food, right around the same amount. It balanced out because I spent, even though I spent less in groceries, I spent more on eating out. So that's why. And we're gonna try, for August, my goal is to try and cook more, so hopefully the eating out will go down. Gas, I spent more money this month than I did last month, and that's because things are like starting to come back to life after COVID, so I'm going out more and doing more things, so that's what that is. Let's see, what else did we spend more in? Household, I spent more in, and that was buying cleaning supplies and things like that. Personal care, I also spent more in. That was to buy vitamins. Clothing, bought a little bit of clothes. Pet, I spent less in, and that's because I bought a gigantic thing of cat food last month for Pharaoh. It was his new expensive cat food, and that should last us for a while, so that's why the spending for pet went down, because all I had to buy was litter. Miscellaneous, don't know what I spent on that, but spent a little bit more this month. Below money, this is me getting ready for my Etsy shop. That's why the numbers are high, and I spent more this month than last month on that. Bills, I spent more, and I think that's because my cushion was included in my bills, and I decided to allocate a cushion this month. Savings, I put less in savings, and I paid less towards debt. And that is because I was spending like crazy on the Amazon card, so I didn't really have any money to put into savings or put into debt. So next month, my goal is to not spend on credit cards at all. Holiday, I didn't spend any on holiday. Car, I got my car fixed, so obviously that's going to be more than what I spent last month. And then I didn't spend any on gifts either. So I'm putting all these back in order and sticking them up in here, but the next thing that I do when I actually close out my budget is I take all of these sheets that I have, and I'm hoping the hobby planner will not make this too complicated for me, but I scan them in. And the reason I would think it would be too complicated is because of the little perforations, but I have like the little screen so I can scan them individually one by one, which is going to be slightly annoying, but hey, better than nothing. but I can scan them into my computer, and then I just keep the digital file and I get rid of the actual papers because I don't need all of this extra paper lying around, and the digital copy allows me to go back and look at the totals if I need to look at them. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed to see more of my content. Also, click the notification bell if you want to be the first to know when I post. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.